Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with some expert losers bracket action. Elimination games galore today as we look at the highest SR bracket that GGEU has to offer. I'm here again. I'm Red Knight with Acronator with all the action. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm looking forward to this match. It's a rather interesting match, another lower bracket match, just like the previous one. So this is loser go home stakes. But these two teams in particular are rather interesting for this division because both of them technically are around masters in terms of average SR. You have Pixel Perfect, that's around 3.8, upper 3.9 average SR. But then you have Jamyoole, who is honestly closer to about 3.6, 3.7 average SR. So they're quite a bit lower in the SR bracket compared to
Yeah.
the rest of their division. However, they have been hyped up by a decent amount of production staff in our chats, saying they ran amok through the advanced division. So they've looked rather good for their situation in terms of like numbers backing them up. So I'm expecting some good performances from both of these teams in all honesty.
Yeah, and I mean, you got something to be said. I know it's losers bracket, but I mean, they made playoffs. They have positive records going into this match, and that's nothing to sneeze at when you're forced to play against a bunch of GM average teams, right? So, I'm hoping that the match will be really good. And I mean, Jamyoole, already had won a match to get to this point, and I mean, Pixel Perfect had finished high enough to be in the top 8 teams. So this should be hopefully a very competitive match. I hope we get to see a lot of really good things from both teams. And yeah, I mean, the thing I love about Expert too is we're going to see a lot of really good positioning, a lot of really strong play. That's my expectation. I don't care about SR. You're playing in this division. You know how to play Overwatch.
Yeah, I am particularly interested to see what compositions these teams decide to run. It looks like the first map will be Busan, said much like the previous round. Mech base, a little bit of a standout in terms of more brawl heavy, but otherwise, the other two, Downtown and Sanctuary, I believe, are a lot more similar. You can see more dive compositions. Brawl still viable, but you got to play it a little bit differently than you would on, say, Mech base.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, crucially, both teams love Busan. So this will be a really good indicator. Like both teams should have practice on this map and should know us to run. And this will be a real tone setter. Winning on one of your favorite maps is like an absolute big deal, especially if both teams care about it, right? And both teams want to win it.
Yeah, so getting into the map in just a moment here. And when we do, we'll get an idea of what these teams actually like to run. This will be their opportunity, actually their last opportunity to make a stance in the playoffs. Because if they don't, then they're going home.
Yep, this is
Wait
it.
until season 8.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I mean, hopefully, we get a really good match. Really interesting SR range to be watching. Both teams, punching above that SR weight. I'm sure. I'm very, very excited to see what we can expect here. And we're starting on downtown, so a lot of options here.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't be shocked to see something like an Ash or a Widowmaker, maybe even a Hanzo. Again, don't take these teams too seriously quite yet. They have about 25 seconds remaining before they get out of the spawn, so we could see some meming. Interestingly enough, Jamyoole, I wouldn't be entirely shocked to see him try some Roadhog compositions here and there because they do have it listed on their sheet that Diego does like to run a good amount of Roadhog, so I wouldn't be shocked to see him actually try it.
Oh,
It's not terrible, but
okay, no.
yeah,
We're
double
back on
bubble.
the. I was thinking they look like Hogs are for a second. I was like, man, we really just went back in time, didn't we? And we're off into the action. Both teams taking early positioning. Pixel Perfect more on like the 6-man dive situation, and you're gonna see Jamyoole give them a lot of space, taking much more defensive position on that little high ground in the room, and you see immediately King Mode dive in there trying to dislodge somebody, and he finds the his opposing monkey, and that's a big dynamite, but May is caught out of position. Diego now working his way onto the Moira, forces Fade. Fade is out. We do not know where that Moira went. Founder, this is probably going to be another pick for the side of Pixel, or sorry, for the side of Jamyoole. Oh, huge anti-nade. Yeah, there you go. The Lucio goes down. There's no supports left for the side of Purrfect. Brigham does get a kill on Diego, but I'm not sure it's going to matter as Tommy just pushes them back.
Yeah, that anti-nade from Len was really just enough to seal the deal there. You had like, what, 2 people getting anti, both Brigham and Last. So that was pretty much the fight there. I mean, they couldn't engage anymore, so Jamyoole will take the point. It looked like Purrfect actually stole the point a little bit early on, but it's only 13%, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see the Sombra now scouting for the side of Purrfect. And I mean, crucially, you know, the engagement Purrfect was pretty good, but didn't really get enough. And here comes Coalescence. Doesn't find anything. Brigham gets a kill on the mate again, going down early. No Ash. Lots of damage lost out there. And this Coalescence is a big deal. But Graviton already? Wait, what? But it doesn't seem to matter as the Zarya player goes down, picked off by Sif. Big boop there to get, and I mean, yeah, this just looks like a one fight for the side of Purrfect. I can't imagine going anywhere else, but then I said the fight's still going. Diego finds one, Bomb finds Tommy, and it's kind of anyone's fight, and you're going to see Pixel commit the beat trying to secure this fight, and they flip the point crucially, which does mean as this goes along, they aren't too upset, and Sif is just farming away after using an EMP, does find at least 2, and this might be all she wrote here for this fight.
Yeah, that honestly went really well for Purrfect. They took control of the point almost sneakily early on and held on to it really well. You had both teams just investing both left and right. They really wanted to emulate what you're seeing a lot in Contenders and now, where the better teams just never want to give up a fight and try to make anything winnable. Honestly, though, if you're Jamyoole, you kind of have to protect your Ashe a little bit better because base is dying early in a lot of these engagements, and that's a lot of poke damage being lost.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised after this Bob we see switch to Kree, but King Mo's already found a pick with the help of Sif, and is going to get another one with this Primal. No, she got in the spawn, and Bob was committed, so it actually got a pick in the backline, and Diego's gone. Low heal, but I'm not sure it will matter. They might be able to get another one. I say that as the Diva, of course, gets DMAxed for the side of Jamyoole. Bomb committed here, finds a kill, and again, this is a scrappy fight that's very winnable for both sides. As I say that, Brig is back in the fight, and it looks like Jamyoole is going to move the point and cap. Sif is looking to kill this Mei, maybe not. Underneath, looking for the hack on the Brigitte, finds it, and that Brig is going to be not long for this world. As while the point flipped again. Oh, no, the point did not quite flip. These fights are getting so drawn out and so long, and it really is hard to tell who it favors. Sif gets a hack to force up, and also, oh my... A big eat there, finds the kill on the scam, but then Mei again just dead, and that's a 4-man EMP. Immediately finds 2 off of it, gonna find the mech as well. Hopefully before bomb can be committed, and it is. And it looks like this is gonna be Purrfect securing this final point. Oh no, yes, and that's gonna be overtime.
But otherwise, I gotta give a lot of credit to Purrfect's DPS, Scam, and Sif. Sif in particular was just, it felt like they were hacking everyone. Like every single time that hack was off of cooldown, she was getting a hack off onto someone. And that led to at least 2 different boops onto the train tracks, especially onto Tommy B, the Tracer, on Jamyoole. So that was a really good opening from Purrfect. Seeing a little bit of a swap up here. I would be kind of shocked to see if Purrfect sticks onto this dive composition, especially in the brawl round of Busan, but I've seen crazier.
I mean, you know, it's a rush comp. It's not really, like, too divey. You occasionally have Winston jump to, like, try to dislodge, like, a single target and let the whole group jump on them, but I think this is, like, them trying to emulate Owl here, and I like the Doomfist, too, as a different flavor as opposed to the hack, as they know for a fact there's going to be a Reinhardt for the other team. And that's a really good isolation early. Doesn't find a kill, but it's okay. Wall comes out, though, so they're going to need to back up here. As I say, that Sif goes right in with a big punch just to kind of keep them at bay. Scam is now backed up. They're low resource. They cannot take this fight too quickly. As I say that, immediately we see Diego jump in. Scam finds Diego on the other side, and that's Immortality coming out. There's no Reinhardt. I don't think they can push this.
Oh
no, this Mei.
He's getting incredibly staggered, and I don't think there's anything they can do to appeal for him.
Yeah, Sif is just cleaning this up. You love to see it. Cole is an interesting investment here. It's kind of free, but not really, as there was just a nerf on a Cole's charge rate. So interesting commitment, but there's everyone else's ults coming up online, so.
Yeah, and finally they capture the point. I guess they were too busy worrying about the fight, so wanted to win that before really capturing it. But that does mean that Jamyoole is really only fighting into like probably 15% if they win this fight or lose this fight. Really,
Yeah,
it's
and
probably
Sif
gonna
is
go
in the
fast.
backline already, and there's ults being committed on all sides.
Oh dear.
Big primal rage here to split up the enemy team, and you see Scam taking advantage, finding Baptiste, and there's the D-Mech, and I mean, yeah, man, I think this is very much a brawl mirror where like the factor on Doom Winston just creates a lot of opportunities for this Reaper to just do whatever the heck they want.
Yeah, Sif is in particular is creating a lot of space on this Doomfish. She's just like perpetually in everyone's face. Honestly, similar to how she was playing the Sombra, just
That's a
never
huge
giving them
isolation
space to breathe.
punch. So much of an isolation punch to split the Reinhardt off from the team. And finally the Rein goes down. The Korea's one being focused down by Scam. Scam finally gets the Baptiste. There are no supports left on for the side of Jamyoole, and they're just kind of getting bullied at this point.
Yeah, they really are not having any success pushing up to the high ground. So in all honesty, a possible rotation to the low ground, yeah, like they are right now, it's probably in order. I don't know if it's going to work any better for them because it was scouted out. But you have to change something at this point. You have to invest ultimates, maybe toss out the Blizzard. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Blizzard does a decent job zoning, but this Monkey Primal's going to come out. And we already see Bomb Command. It doesn't find anything. And I mean, the only good thing is the teams are split.
So much
That's a
better.
good slam. And maybe good enough. And I mean, but I say that Scam goes and does a ton of damage with his Death Blossom. Doesn't connect anything for himself, but gets stuff for his teammates. But then again, the D.Va is just fragging back. No DPS left for the side of Pixel Purrfect and Jamyoole commit window. I think they're gonna get this fight, which they desperately need. As I say that, Brigham taking out lane, and man, they just frag back every time. Every time I think that Pixel Purrfect's out of the fight, they just get a frag. Then yep, Sif gets Kree. Heaven help me.
Oh no. Oh yeah, that was just a little bit sad from Jamyoole. They had a few opportunities, but they just weren't playing fast enough, I guess is the best way to describe it. They didn't play their win conditions. They weren't as decisive as Pixel Purrfect, who just never wanted to give up.
Yeah, and I mean, I think part of it too, though, I mean, we talk about pace of play. I mean, you have to think the side of the Doomfist and the Moira and the Lucio have to be the faster team. So, there was no real attempt, it seemed, to, like, slow down anything. Everything was just, we're going to shove our Reinhardt through choke and hope that he doesn't get booped out of place by a Doomfist or an Lucio. And then every single time, inevitably, Sif would be like, hello, meet my fist. And like, there's no attempt to slow the tempo down. And this has to be demoralizing for the side of Jamyoole, you have to think.
Yeah, but at the same time, when you're playing at this level, this is again a lower bracket match of the playoffs. If they lose everything here, they go home. So you can't allow that to define the rest of the series. You had a rough map, whatever. You have to shake it off, especially since control can oftentimes be like the outlier in terms of map types, where sometimes in all levels of play, from community to the pros, you'll see like a team win control and then just lose out everything else. So there is definitely a lot of time for Jamyoole to come back, but they gotta play more together. They gotta just fix up the holes in their strategies. Come back a little bit stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I think that's going to have to start, right, with recognizing the tempo Pixel Purrfect wants to play at, and recognizing that you either need to get to something that can match that tempo in burst of energy, burst of healing, right? Moira is not good over a long fight because she runs out of healing resource. Or you need to just recognize that you can slow the pace of the game down or speed it up, right? Like you got to pick one and you got to commit. And I don't think the Reinhardt Baptiste route is going to be the route for matching their tempo. That you just got to slow it down.
Yeah. And it looks like the next map, I guess unsurprisingly, is going to be Blizzard, where both of these teams had that listed as their favorite hybrid. If we don't go to Kings Row, this usually is the one I see the most. Nambani is a bit of an outlier,
Yes.
but Blizzard World is somewhat common. So,
yeah, somewhat common for sure. And I mean, I think it has to be, the ability to run Monkey and Ashe and like a lot of different compositions, especially on second.
Yeah, and I also have to worry a little bit because Blizzard World plays really well into the composition that Pixel Perfect seems to want to play with this monkey rush composition that we're seeing a lot in the Overwatch League. Honestly, a little bit funny to see it being played outside of Overwatch League because that was really a meta that manifested because of the hero bans that were in play. But it's
Yeah,
still good enough if you play it correctly.
I think it's something. I think there's a couple things for it. Is like, it's been in the meta before, right? When Hog came back in, when we were figuring out that Hog was insane again, there was a short period in time in the Overwatch League last playoffs, where this rush composition, the exact same one that's being run, was really really popular. But so far, the teams aren't even showing us that. Pixel Perfect is running on a very different style here.
Okay, yeah. So this, if they decide to play this, Pixel Perfect would be playing very slow in comparison because this is more of a poke composition. You want to divide and conquer, which, as they'll learn, will be a little bit difficult against Double Bubble. It's not exactly the easiest thing to split up and get value with because the Double Bubble by nature is meant to be more split than, say, like a traditional brawl composition.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the one thing I'm gonna point out is the decision to go with Ash for the side of Jamyoole. It's gonna give a lot of opportunities because there's no second stun, no Kree to assist with this ball or Tracer. And we see just poke phase here, which is gonna be really really good. The big tension is, can Jamyoole out sustain the burst damage coming in from Pixel Perfect and their spam. And taking space is going to take a little bit of time. They have to basically just play for ultimates, and that's what we're seeing here is we're just trying to get this Nano farmed up, and Diego's taking a ton of damage already, and he might just be done. This Tracer, though, gets forced out. Sif trying not to overextend. You already see the team wisely, I think, setting up for next fight that will happen on the point. Playing around Boathouse. Both teams kind of feeling each other out, and crucially, though, there's going to be Nano Boost coming in here for this Monkey any second. They need to kill Monkey soon. No, not going to be fast enough. It looks like they're going to have Nano Boost, and this could be the opening that Jamyoole's looking for. The Nano got off. Okay, so that's a good engagement on the back line. But Tracer is going to find the Brigitte. There are no healers here, and there's no picks coming in for Jamyoole at all. Oh, I say that. Finally, we get a kill on the Zenyatta, but I don't know if it's going to matter. Rez hasn't been committed yet, and they can get that back at any time. This Monkey is not going to live. And yeah, Diego falls eventually.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a slow engagement there. Once again, Scam and Sif just lighting up the kill feed perpetually. I mean, that fight by itself, the first fight took a minute and a half, so that's a good amount of time now out of the bank for Jamyoole. And they had the right idea, but they were a little bit slow once again to engage. You had Len just in an awkward position, getting caught out by Scam, and that really opened up the fight because yes, they got the nano boost off, but I mean, like, what happened after that?
Oh, but May finds a big pick on the Brigham. Now this, but it's gonna get res immediately. Tommy though finds the Mercy in the Chaos.
Cool.
Sif trades it back though. Trans is out. I don't know if it's gonna matter here, but I mean, if they have grab, they might be able to refrag this. They do not though. Lift comes out. It's gonna find two.
Oh.
Bomb finds two. And that's a good cleanup. I like this fight though. It was a lot faster. Maybe we can see Jamyoole build off this.
Yeah, you're gonna have Maze get staggered a little bit, but they do have the EMP. There's not too much else to combo with it unless they want to wait a little bit for Fleisch to build up that Graviton Surge. Otherwise, the defense used pretty much everything they had in that previous fight, so Pixel Perfect is looking a little bit anemic in terms of ult economy. This is going to be Jamyoole's best opportunity that they're probably going to have this entire first point push.
Yep, and Diego goes in and engage, takes away high ground. Zen split! No one's looking at him, though. Finally, pressure comes in, but it's not going to matter. They're waiting for this EMP to come through. They're restaging. Ball is slept in the back. They need to go. They need to take this opportunity, but their rotations are taking a really long time. Monkey re-engages. EMP finds two. It's the tanks. It might be good enough. Kingmo does get the kill on Diego, but it doesn't seem to matter. As I say that, the backline just killed by Scam. All right, I guess. But there's a tick over for Tommy. Tommy is now pushing Scam, doesn't get the kill, and this Zarya is just gonna fall to the Tracer of Sif, and everything just falling apart for the side of Jamyoole.
Like I said, that was their best opportunity. Can't even disrupt the res. Diego doesn't even want to use the primal. They're going to need that for the last engagement. And while Jamyoole has a lot of ultimates, again, that was their best opportunity. You did get last to use their Valkyrie But at the same time,
Yeah.
you're gonna have like what Sif with Pulse Bomb, King Mode with Mine, Scam with a Bob, all like mid-fight, as well as the Transcendence coming up for Abs and Isa. This isn't looking incredible for the offense anymore. They're gonna really need to find some value out of these ultimates, which they've struggled to do in the past.
Alright, well, this is a good start. You need to isolate this Zenyatta.
Oh,
He's
no.
hacked. You can kill him. Oh, the Pulse Bomb's eaten, though, and that's a huge deal. But if we can just kill this Zen before he... Nope, he is Transcendence, and he is alive, and that is probably going to be everything unless a miracle is pulled off here. Nano Boost is committed, but as we see, Transcendence is used, Mines is used, and, I mean, who's left to fight this? A lone Diva, discorded against the world, and as we see, the DMAC comes through, and that's going to be a pretty convincing first point hold for the side of Pixel Perfect.
Yeah, May's trying to stall it a little bit, but it's really just a misbegotten attempt. A tick and a half, give or take, is what Jamyoole was able to get. So that's what they gotta. That's what they gotta hold. It's not easy, but not impossible.
Not impossible. First point again, like Blizzard World is a notorious first point hold map, in my opinion. There's a lot of opportunities to hold this first point. I think my bigger concern is like at no stage of the game does Jamyoole look like they really understand what their engagement tempo needs to be. Like you saw it with the first nano attempt, the monkey engaged so early. By the time he was getting nanoed, like he had no resources himself to sustain him through the fight. If that's a nano on impact. Well, now he has like his Zarya's bubble and his own bubble, plus the fact he's an anode. Right? If you wait until those resources are expended, you've done less damage, and yeah, you might get healed, you might not, and the nano's not going to get nearly as much value. And also, it forced out Lane into a weird position, like you said.
Yeah, honestly, in that kind of situation, when especially with Yana's like 90% of the nano boost, and it builds so disgustingly fast. Yeah, just take a little bit of poke damage. Don't fully engage. You know, Diego can just poke his head out, be like, "Here I am," take a tiny bit of damage. And that's instantly nano boost. You can go straight from that to jumping in and actually taking the engagement that you want. And that's something that Jamyoole seems to be struggling with, in particular with this double bubble. And it's much like the Winston Rush composition, where it plays off of the coalescence to engage. Double bubble really wants to play off of the nano boost to engage, so that's something they're going to have to do, especially since they're still on double bubble right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they're taking a more poke-oriented approach to it, which I think is wise for this map. And it is a lot harder for Pixel Perfect to get set up. And then you see poke phase, but I say that, King Mode somehow finds Tommy. That's not what you want to see. And Sif's on the other side of the map, so there's no way Sif was responsible really for that kill. This is not what you want to see. Monkey is just trying to sustain on the point, doing a pretty good job. May takes out Sif. That's actually a huge pick, and they're actually defending this fairly well. Monkey's being sustained through this very, very efficiently. The rest comes in on Sif. The pile driver comes through, but Coach coming off the map? It doesn't seem to matter. Zarya falls. That's a big pick, and now it looks like Mercy may fall, but does not. And everyone's just trying to fight for their lives. Everyone's just looking critical. Oh no, Scam though, might fall, finally Pocket comes through, like 20 HP, man. Lane needs to find cover, Nano Boost comes out though, this could be big. And we see the swap to Diva. Oh no, both the supports down, Scam and Brigham finding money. Sif pressuring out the Diva, and I don't know, this looks like a quick map win for me. Lift!
Yeah.
Oh no.
It's looking pretty dire for Jamyoole.
Oh no, yeah, they looked really good. Like they looked like they had a fight there, and it just fell apart. They let the Boa Constrictor get around. Brigham just having free reign to do all the damage they wanted. Sif also sitting on an opposite angle, you know, just making that Mercy utterly terrified. Nobody could really stop to look. Again, like you need a Kree or a Brig or something to deal with this Tracer.
Yeah, or just send your own Tracer over to take those duels. I mean, they weren't looking terrible, but at the end of the day, it felt like they didn't quite know where to position their supports, when to engage. I noticed in particular that whenever they tried to nano boost, Len would just die almost immediately thereafter. So it's either they're just positioning a little bit weird in general, or perhaps the Winston is not being conscious of where their Ana is when engaging, because you really have to be aware of that. If you're the Winston in the double bubble, you have to make sure that like the Ana doesn't become suicidal trying to get the nano boost off, you know. And the fact that it happened twice on both attempts for the nano boost on Blizzard World, it makes me wonder if that was a problem.
Yeah, I mean, I think another really decent option too is I think that based on what I'm seeing and the way that they're having their Winston play, they isn't putting enough pressure onto like the stationary DPS like the Ashe. So basically, since he's putting no pressure on the Ashe gets to look at the Ana the moment that she goes out to Nano, whereas like the monkey's sitting on the Ana, I'm sorry, on the Ashe. You know, it doesn't matter as much as she has to poke her head a little forward to throw on Nano. So like it's one of these things or a combination. I mean, I just haven't been impressed with the engagement comparatively, especially to Pixel Perfect and the way they run their engagements across the board.
Yeah, and Pixel Perfect, like we said in Busan, it plays equally a part now in Blizzard World. Is they just seem to know what tempo they want to play. They're playing particularly fast when they're playing like that rush composition in the ball comps. They're forcing a lot of chaos in the engagements, like in the fights, and just allowing their DPS to pick apart everyone on Jamyoole to the point where they're not allowed to play the game really.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, hats off to them. I mean, like Pixel Perfect looks very, very good. And I mean, if they play this style of Overwatch at this level of execution, I mean, they might have a deep losers bracket run here. That said, Jamyoole still has a map. You know, I think on the heroic side, I think we're going to need to see them recognize that they're having some engagement problem, clean up some communication. I think those are really the things. I don't think compositionally anything they're doing is particularly awful. It's just, yeah, I think it's just execution for the most part.
Okay, it looks like the next map chosen is Havana. I haven't seen this one be played too often. It looks like the teams are staying on their side, so Pixel Perfect will probably defend first. My memory serves. And it looks like we're just going straight into it because it seems like the teams are ready. We're pretty much ready. So once the
Yeah.
lobby is all set and ready to go, we'll just hop straight into it and get on. I mean, Pixel Perfect, I'm sure they would love to close this out really fast in a 3-0. They're on match point already. And Jamyoole have yet to get a point on the board, really. So they really just need to get something going.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think I don't know. Like, there's a lot of things you can play in Havana. My experience has been a lot of spawn holds, and you can
Yeah.
spawn hold. There's a lot of ways you can spawn hold too. So we might see double shield. We might see standard brawl. We might see even Sigma brawl, which is pretty popular on this map. Um, you know, Sigma Ryan rather. And
Yeah.
so, you know, there's a lot of different flavors you can choose in Havana, which is why it's actually a pretty fun map. There's also just the pure ability to Widow Diff if someone feels up to doing that. So yeah, this should be hopefully a pretty interesting map. You know, we can see a lot of different looks from both teams.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, I'm fully expecting a close hold. There's no reason not to because you can wear off, at least 30 seconds from the clock, ideally closer to like a minute and a half. At a certain point, the ultimates and the spawn advance, it just becomes too much. But I mean, wearing down the clock so much, and you're guaranteed another fight by the end of first point. So it's very low risk, high reward that I think a lot of teams are starting to realize as we hit more of like a brawl meta.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think you know, there's just a lot of options. I think like you said, you know, Havana really does like just the one lane nature of it, despite the fact there's a long sight line, does really lend itself to a brawl style. But yeah, double shield can be played. I mean, I've seen Hog here. Have you seen Hog here? I've seen Hog here. Hog would be fun.
Well, be if there's ever a map to do it, I guess it would be this one. Although Jamyoole is the team that has that listed on their team sheet. I'm not sure if they want to go that crazy quite yet. Maybe win a few more maps first and get it closer before running out the comfort picks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jamule showing double shield at least initially. Meanwhile, like we talked about, Brigham showing us Sigma again, but besides that, very standard brawl composition. I would be very shocked if this is not a close hold. That's typically where May is going to find her most value.
Yeah, the one challenge here for Pixel Perfect being that Brigham being on the Sigma, he normally wants to play a little bit further back, get a little bit more poke damage as opposed to like a Diva or a Zarya. So they're going to have to be a little bit more wary of that. King mode can't really go like face first into the enemy spawn, but they can still hold close. They have to play it a little bit smarter though. It looks like Jimmy will want to stick onto this double shield. They're going to have to be very cautious about how they approach this because the brawl can punish them because they're by nature very close.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fight's already started. They speed boost out. I mean, Double Shield's going to have to swap. There's no way they're going to get out of this unless they go all the way to that backside door and look for a good spam angle, but I don't think they're going to find it right away. Although, here we go. Decent pull comes out, but lots of shielding. Very safe. This Sigma might get caught out with his Zenyatta, but they're backing up. That's a big dynamite coming in from the other end. They're doing a good job splitting and poking this out. That's a big pull. This forces Immortality Field, and off-screen, Tommy finds Brigham. That's a big, big deal here. And it could be the beginning of the end of the spawn hold. And Flyish finding a nice 3-piece, almost a 4, but you gets the kill credit there. All right, decent spawn break.
You can't let the Sigma just waddle his way out of spawn like that and shoot you from behind, because that's so much damage. Okay, he's going up to the high ground. I thought he was going to beat the defense as they're coming back from spawn. I was going to say that would be a bit suicidal, but I like this positioning from him, and he's already relatively close to his flux. I mean, he's going to have it probably by the end of this fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I love the way that Jamyoole are playing this. They're playing really good off angles, forcing Purrfect to make rotations like this one to force Sigma out of the high ground, and it just creates all this time for May to getting good damage. Window comes in at an awkward angle. Lane kills King Mode. That's a big pick to start this fight. And May just, again, smashing damage into the side of Purrfect. And this looks like a different team.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is an entirely different group of players, if I had to say. I mean, Tommy and May is just getting a ridiculous amount of value out of basically everything they're doing right now, and Scam and Sif not really given the space to work with. You know, they're constantly having to rotate to get, like, Fleisch off the high ground, to have to deal with Maze up on the on a completely different high ground. They've yet to really focus him down. Scam didn't stand a chance.
Nice pull. Excellent. And, like, you know, Boiler's just such a hard position to dislodge if you're Brawl. And, like, you have Zen on the high ground now. Like, this is gonna be a nightmarish situation unless there's a very decisive engagement from the side of Purrfect.
And that's gonna be difficult because they're making a lot of swaps. They've lost a lot of ultimates just to pure swapping. You know, whereas
no, Tommy just blowing up King Mode, and oh my word.
Stood no chance. The burst damage was way too much, and they only had to use Bongo there. That's the only thing.
And Bongo builds your other ults, right? So, like, it's just Bongo is so insane for ult economy. It's absolutely crazy, especially when you have fights like that one. And, like, I don't see how you recontest this with Purrfect situation. Like what are they gonna do?
Guess they would have to use the beat to engage, but that's not ideal. And I mean, what are you gonna do once you're in? You know, once the beat's there, once the beat's gone, what do? I don't know.
I think they're just gonna give up the point. Yeah, they just give up the point, saying, "All right, we need to like bait ultimates out, and we need to say what we have right now." Yep. Oh, they're swapping to double shield. Okay.
Can't beat them, join them, I guess, and this is going to be the opportunity to give them a little bit of space. You know, by nature, Purrfect is going to have a good amount of sight lines. They want to poke with this double shield, much like Jamyoole's wanted to do thus far, so it's hard to say who's going to have the advantage. Like, it's going to be up to, really, the Ashe
Window
to make openings.
In the lift! And that Brigham was done the moment he got put in the air there. On this map especially, there's so many ways to get shot. On the right-hand side, we see Fleisch just looking for more opportunities to get picks as they push their advantage into this little courtyard. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you do. This is such a turnaround.
Tessu probably isn't going to survive. Actually, no, they back up, so these Zenyatta on the defense will survive for a little bit longer. But I mean, when you look at Purrfect, they still only have like a window right now. There's a little bit of ways from the pulse bomb or anything else.
Yeah, and I mean, you see Window forcing Transcendence, and Bob is now committed a little early, but it looks like it's getting some good value, but they burn it very, very immediately. Tracer's on the backline being very, very disruptive, but Tommy now pops his ultimate to become another Sigma on the side of Jamyoole, and is immediately zoning out Scam. Scam is not doing any meaningful damage right now, as the other real Sigma gets a kill. Oh my, Tommy! It doesn't even need the ultimate. It's a two-piece. Who cares, right? Like, absolute destruction from... Oh, wait. Maybe they're going to frag it back. Because now that's Transcendence, and Ball and Sif just popping off with all the damage, and they're going to save this. That's actually insane.
Well, that's what we like to call a 2CP. Not necessarily on the 2CP game mode, but I mean, Defender's Advantage is just so incredibly strong at this point that it would be shocking to me if Jamyoole was going to win that with the staggered kills that they were getting. They need to really win a clean fight, and that might take a little bit to build up some of their ult economy. So this is going to be Pixel Perfect's opportunity to stall out the clock and maybe even bring it to overtime.
Yeah, but I mean, let's be honest. Anytime you get over a minute on this map, it is full completion. You feel great, and that's a big window coming in. But the pool is even bigger. Everyone on the side of Jamyoole is hurt, but May though finding crucially a pick on the scam. Tommy B putting a ton of pressure on the back line of Pixel Purrfect, and this looks like they should be able to surge forward. And yeah, that's what Doris is doing, discorded, but it doesn't seem to matter. And Brigham is under so much pressure having to back up. I don't think he's going to be able to survive. I say that, but they frag back on Flyish, and May dies as well, and oh my word, Sif is just getting the work done right now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you gotta do in this situation. There's a lot of free reign for the Tracer to just run around on the defense and do basically whatever she wants. So Sif just causing a whole lot of chaos. She has the pulse bomb for this upcoming fight. And a little fun fact I'm hearing from the producer is that if Jamyoole could have pushed it through without getting stopped with the payload, that would have been the second fastest time compared to the Owl fastest times on this map.
That's
so,
insane. Oh no, but Diego just getting blown up. Oh no. Sif just doing all the damage in the back line. I mean, they have a Brigitte, but it doesn't seem to matter. I think, like, I don't know if they need to play more back or what. Like, this is just looking rough. And ult economy-wise, now we're in a really even position, which is insane when you think about how we started this pony.
Yeah, well, oh dear. Well, you have a little bit of spawn camping now. Jamyoole really just has to find some sort of pick now. Unfortunately, you don't have quite as long of a range to do so as Scam does, so that's going to be a bit difficult. Tommy's going to have a difficult time even getting out of spawn. But now that they are back, I wouldn't be shocked to see, something like the Flux I was just about to say.
Oh, that's a big lift. Transcendence comes out for it, but High Noon! Fantastic! And the Pulse Bomb doesn't find anything. This is a winnable again for the side of Jamyoole. Bongo's used and committed. You still have 2 ultimates, though, and, King Moo's just going to die. King Moo, no, 1 HP living? King Mo got out,
back in the spawn.
And then Bob to contest point. This is actually a big moment here. Tommy B, though, copying Ash. Hasn't found a Bob of his own yet. Still 10 seconds to build it. Sure, they'll get it, but actually gets poked out. Oh, okay. I mean, let's be real, though. That's a great look for Jamyoole.
That was a complete turnaround. I think this double shield is sort of helping them regain their confidence. I don't think they can one-trick it for the entire series, depending on the map pool, but it's definitely what they needed here, and there's no reason why they can't run it on defense. You know, if they want to forego that close hold and just have a strong mid-hold on first point, then I'd say that's worth it.
Yeah, but here's the thing, you don't even necessarily have to make a giant choice between the two. You can do a pretty decent spawn hold in a bunker underneath the archways if you want. Like you know, there used to be an old cheesy strat where you would basically run double shield a Bastion. I'm not saying you would run the Bastion in this case, but you got a lot of options, I guess is my point. But we're gonna see the Brawl spawn hold, it looks like, from Jamyoole, and that's not too bad, right? You can do the spawn hold and then switch, right? That's certainly an option depending on what ultimates you have online, especially their DPS. So you know, we'll see. I'm a little skeptical. I'm hoping that the confidence they gained here will translate to them being able to play this spawn hold really, really well.
Possibly, yeah. Looks like they're scouting out, or maybe even deciding that they don't want to close hold as close as what Pixel Purrfect did. Pixel Purrfect actually opting to go back to the Wrecking Ball composition with a few swaps in the DPS, Scam onto Hanzo and Sif onto the Pharah. I'll be interested to see which team has the advantage here. It really is going to depend on sightlines of the attacking.
That's a good DPS wall. They're going to be able to get this. They're going to probably be able to get this Sigma caught out. As I say that, though, everyone's kind of dropping low. As far as getting a lot of work done. Oh. And, yep, Tommy B falls between the crossfire between Scam and Sif. That duo has been getting a lot of work done today. And, yep, Scam finds a second. Pharah just trying to find another target. Lean, though, killing King Mode. They might be able to stall on the cart for like another 30 to 40 seconds, which could be a big deal in terms of getting another fight off. Although, as I say that, falls to Scam. Oh, hit the palm tree. Unlucky, but the DMAC does come through, and yep, that's going to be a quick cleanup. Still, 45 seconds-ish drained from the clock.
About as good as you can really hope for. You know, I'd say anything 45 seconds and above is a reasonable time bank to waste for that close hold. And they're on the defense. They really just want to wear down the clock. They don't need to get a first hold. They don't need to get a second hold. They could just play the clock the entire time up until third points when they have a ton of space to work with, and then just bring it to overtime, win one fight, and they're good. So Jamyoole not really in the end-all be-all do or die right now.
Yeah, and I love this rotation from them, but Brigham does find one of his own, but he trades out because of Diego getting the kill into him. Lane needs to live, but does not. The ball doing a ton of damage and a ton of work with that power driver. They need to, like, end this fight now, or they need to, like, get some serious frag backs. As I say, that Tommy B does fall. King Mode is just living on point, about to have his ultimate. This Kree is not long for this world, and Sif is just kind of uncontested in the skies. Bomb coming out. Doesn't find anything.
It's really going to be on Maze to deal with Sif on the Pharah, but thus far Sif's been playing extremely passive and just poking in left and right, so it's going to be really difficult for the Kree on the defense to do anything about it.
Yeah, but this cleanup did take a long time, and again, they drained a fair amount of clock. Mines had to be committed there, actually. And, you know, ult-wise, there's an advantage of Pixel, but it's not horrible.
Definitely not, especially if Jamyoole come out here and say like open up with a window shatter or something along those lines. I could definitely see this fight going in their favor, but they are going to have to act quickly, actually. Are they? Yeah, they are going to contest.
Yeah, but they got to make sure they scout Sif, but doesn't scout them soon enough, and Sif gets a nice 2k. Noon frags back too, though. Maybe with the window they can make something happen, but maybe not? I don't know. It's just Kree and Baby Diva on the point, and that will be a cleanup. I mean, that... All right, still not a bad situation, though. 4 minutes going into second. Could be worse, could be better.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a costly engagement just because they needed to use like Wet Bomb, Noon, Shatter, and Window, but they are going to have the beat. They are going to have the Blizzard on the side of Jamyoole. On the side of Purrfect, they have a little bit more to work with. Obviously not going to have the Barrage for a little while. Actually, not going to have the Barrage, period, because the swap comes into a Sombra. Interesting.
Oh, they're getting ready for like 6-man, I think? Because that would make sense to the Diva as well, right? So you're just keeping these for the alt swaps. Anyway, the engagement has started. Scam is looking for a pick. Doesn't find anything yet, but they're going to be able to drag in the backline here, and that's a pretty big split. Beat comes out to kind of keep everyone up and healthy, but Maze is under a ton of pressure, but Scam is just kind of darting around trying to avoid being killed, but it's not going to work as Flyish finds them. And that's a pretty good fight from the side of Jamyoole, and I would assume, unless you're really going to force this Transcendence next fight, we're going to see a swap to Lucio.
No, it looks like they're sticking on the Zenyatta.
All right, well then I would have to see the Trans. The Trans has to come out this fight, right?
Yeah, it almost has to. I mean, Purrfect don't have a main support right now. I mean, like, neither the Zen nor the Moira can reliably peel for anyone, you know? So, like, the Moira can use the Fade to get out, but I mean, she can't peel for anyone. Yeah,
and big engage coming in here. Bubble's already broken, though. Big window, and there's the Transcendence. That's why High Noon's coming out to try to counter, and it does find Sif, which is a big pick. There is a bomb play that finds King Mode. This is a great fight from Jamyoole.
Yeah, this is really the position they wanted to hold on second as well. They've thus far done a really great job of just wearing down the clock, and they're definitely already having taken a faster pace on their offense compared to Purrfect. So if they do get second point, it's looking like Darnell might be like towards the 30-second overtime range.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's still a possibility of full hold as we finally see the full swap going straight to the Owl June Joust meta that we've been seeing. You know, probably just playing in their playstyle and some comfort picks. Oh, but King Mode's blown up immediately by Diego, and Wall comes out is great. Who cares about this Coalescence? You can back up, but they're going to surge forward. I mean, this Moira is just kind of off on an off angle trying to get some solo damage, but Flyish there to clean it up.
A little bit hopeful with the Coalescence, but I guess he kind of had to, because otherwise you're just shooting it at a wall. Might as well try and get an exiting pick. Actually, having the supports on Purrfect completely swapped, so I guess they were on the wrong rolls, so that might also make some sense. That might have been part of it. Unfortunately, it does give up a decent amount of beat charge from Abs and I.
And there's window right away being used here, and looks like they're just going to try to wait this out. So Lena's just going to take a little bit bigger peek here. Flyish trying to make sure that Reaper doesn't get any flank angles. And just a lot of poking coming through. There's only going to be really Diva Bomb to work with on side of Pixel Perfect for now. And again, the engagement's coming in. Scam finding May is huge, but Tommy's Blizzard's good. Diego frags back 2 of his own. Beat coming in to keep everyone up and healthy, and this is going to be a really decisive fight win for the side of Jamyoole, and not a terrible investment, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're starting to see why the Owl meta is the meta, because Reinhardt isn't able to be played in Owl right now. So the Winston Rush is very much countered by a good Reinhardt brawl. As we're seeing right now, you do have, oh dear, Scam is actually might find some value, but probably not. Just gonna get bullied. Yeah, okay, so that's why this Winston Rush is having a lot of difficulty, though. They're just running their heads up against a brick wall that is Reinhardt.
Yeah, and the fight's been going crazy already as Diego finds a kill on Lucio, but that bomb finds 2 of his own. Flyish, though, getting Brigham, that might be enough to help stabilize. As I say that, Diego kills the copy, which is a pretty big deal. Bomb is committed by Flyish, and Remake kill onto King Mode. Love to see it. Sif getting a sticky kill on Diego, and Scam now committing Death Blossom. Sif off screen finding Tommy B is another pretty crucial pick. Scam is just being kind of left to do what he wants, and this is a pretty good fight from the side of Pixel Perfect, although we are in overtime.
Yeah, they need to stay on the cart, and I can almost guarantee you that Jamyoole is going to have another full fight on second point. So this is what they've been playing for the entire time. Keep in mind, Tommy is going to have that Blizzard, and unless Tisu can come up with a beat relatively soon, it's gonna get a little bit dicey. They just need to force Pixel Perfect off the card for a brief moment.
Yep, and there's the beat to keep everyone healthy and just push the advantage here. Allow
Blizzard.
Space to the DPS to use the windows, and there's Blizz. This is probably it. I can't imagine this being turned by anything but straight heroics. That said, Sif does demech Flyish and actually gets the kill onto them, and there's still members of Pixel Perfect getting kills and staying alive as Lean ends up falling. May, though, finding Sif. Pretty big kill there, but he's won, and he's being chased out by Diva. I mean, they might have to give up this point. That said, Diego does find the last Tetsu, and
no.
Jamyoole stabilizes.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be it. Jamyoole getting their name on the board in
Love to see it.
A really strong way. I mean, this entire map felt like theirs from the get-go. That was just beautiful play. Maze getting play of the game. I honestly don't know what specific play this could be, because in all honesty, they played really well.
The lift. The lift to the chance. This is actually really great. Like, this is actually a phenomenal way to counter Transcendence. I really liked that play from them.
Oh, a little bit of nasty headshot there to end it out, and that is more like the Jamyoole that the production chat before the match was hyping up. You know, that felt a little bit more like a team that actually has a chance in this this division, despite being significantly lower in SR.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, there's a lot to say there. I mean, I think the biggest thing Jamyoole did was, with that double shield, they were able to control tempo. They weren't caught out. They knew how to rotate their cooldowns. They absorbed contact a lot better than they did previously. And it looks a lot more like teams exchanging haymakers than just taking a beating, which is a much better look for them. Sorry, I mean, Blizzard World had me, like, or sorry, not. It
was rough.
it was unfortunate. So, you know, and now here's the thing: we're going into Assault after this break, and I don't know. Assault's a rough map for teams that are kind of inconsistent on their ult usage and things. So this will be interesting to see if they can keep the momentum rolling.
Yeah, but we will get a good look as to whether Havana was a fluke or not after this break. So stick with us, folks. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
Welcome back, guys. We have an exciting match now. All of a sudden, Jamyoole really making a stand on that last map, fighting for their tournament life. And I'm still Red Knight, and I think that's still Acernator. Is that still you, buddy?
Sure enough.
Yeah. So, man, Assault now. 2 CP. The bane of everyone's existence. Either complete raffle stomp, or we'll have a 6-5 barn burner of a match that just goes on forever. What are you expecting out of these teams, man?
Oh boy, I wouldn't blame Jamyoole for trying to run like the double shield on their defense. Actually, I wouldn't blame either of these teams for trying to run double shield and defense. Otherwise, I wouldn't be shocked to see anything from the brawl to a dive to a double bubble on the offense. There's a ton that they can run, but I think at this point both teams kind of want to play a little bit more passive on their defenses, since that's what seemed to work to some extent on Havana.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like certainly, I think it's easier to control tempo and double shield, right? So, you have so many cooldowns to like slow down the enemy's advance. So, I certainly think that like they found we want to be the team that dictates tempo one way or another. And I think Jamyoole found like the training wheels version, which is double shield, and then they kind of graduated to that brawl and did a still really good job controlling the tempo the entire time. Right, even when they got beaten, they like dragged out the fights. They engaged in the tempos they wanted. So, yeah, I certainly agree that tempo control is going to be the name of the game. It seems moving forward. I am going to be interested to see how they choose to do it. Especially with the pool of assault maps available, they all kind of are very different. And it looks like Anubis will be the selection. Okay, so that does give us a lot of options. That means double shield could be viable. Like you said, double bubble is pretty popular here. Like, what would you prefer to run here? For each team.
Honestly, Pixel Perfect, I wouldn't be shocked to just see either a stereotypical brawl with like the May McCree, or if they really wanted to, they could try the Winston Rush. I feel like they're going to be ramming their head up against a brick wall if they try that too much. Whereas Jamyoole, honestly, more double shield and then more double bubble on their offense. I think that seemed to work for them rather well.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I generally agree here, and also crucially, double shield can be really powerful here because Junkrat can be in the equation in a meaningful way. Pool Junkrat is pretty decent. So I'm very excited to see what the teams choose to run here. I think either way, Jamyoole has made a pretty strong statement here that they won't go away quietly. I'm optimistic. I mean, again, they just look so much better on Havana.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see if they just happen to be good at Escort, or maybe just happen to be good at Havana. But it's really going to be up to them. I believe we're just waiting on someone from one of the teams still taking their bio break. They took the break part a bit too seriously, but either way, be in it in just a few minutes here.
Yeah, it happens. We got needs. We have to take care of those issues, right? Long match, long series. Hopefully, if you're the side of Jamyoole, um, I mean, like honestly, the thing that I've also really noticed too is like Maze has been getting a ton. Maze has been getting a ton more value in most of his matchups as we finally pan over to the beautiful Temple of Anubis. Really cool Egyptian style here that I always love. Fun fact: the pyramid behind here, if you know anything about Overwatch lore, hides one of the god AIs that like created the Omnic Crisis.
Yes, the fabled Overwatch plot that comes out of hiding for a brief week, like every year when they make one comic, and then leave us all to dry.
Soon, TM. Soon.
As someone who has read probably 24 World of Warcraft novels, another Blizzard title
Oh,
for you,
there you go.
then I'm somewhat starved for Overwatch lore personally, but that's neither here nor there, because we're not here to talk about the menace underneath the pyramid, because that really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. We're here to watch these teams beat the snot out of each other, and it looks like
Heck yeah.
Pixel Perfect on this defense are going to be running the standard double bubble, which they haven't played too much outside of, I believe, one round in Busan. So a little bit of a different look, whereas Jamyoole looking for a more stereotypical, traditional dive with the Echo and the Sombra. So I'd be interested to see how they engage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I certainly think that if you're on the side of Pixel Perfect, you want to play slow. You have an Echo, you have also a Hanzo, and like you just don't have the tools to take fast fights. And here's the fast engage on the other side from Jamyoole, though, trying to push this tempo, but it doesn't really work. Brigham just blowing up Diego with the help of Sif. And yeah, I don't know how you're going to push that. Sif is just putting in a ton of damage already. Man, and Scam too. Scam's already halfway to Dragon. You got to be a little bit more precise, I think, on this dive if you're on the side of Jamyoole.
Yeah, and keep in mind, they're playing traditional dives, so more than just the Winston has to dive in. It has to be the D.Va, it has to be the Echo, ideally everyone besides
Speaking of, that's a pretty solid engage. You getting down the Mercy and Scam, that's a huge deal, and oh my, just surge forward. Tommy B is actually going to surpass Skiff's ult charge, and like I don't think there was an ult committed. They don't even use Nano.
No, they didn't need it. They did just what I said. They needed more people to dive in at the same time. Maybe they were waiting for Maze to get in a position. I didn't see where they were the first time around, but when you have more than just the monkey diving in and dive, it works usually.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and also they did a really good job of isolating Brigham that time, whereas last time they really just dove in front of Brigham, used cooldowns, and then didn't have any real answer for this Zarya. And there's the Nano engage here to start this fight off. Really good stuff. You're probably going to not fight this break too much longer, but then again, he gets the support he needs. This is probably going to be all she wrote. Tommy is on Brigitte as the Echo, getting a little bit of sustain for his team, finds another kill of his own, and I mean, this is a disaster if you're Pixel Perfect. Where are you going to go? Well, is this going to be this quick?
Oh. Well, they get at least one tick, and I mean, they haven't lost anyone yet, so there's a very good potential that they get more kills and get that second tick. But they do need to start finding kills rather soon.
Yeah, they gotta break this bubble and let this bomb get some value. Find Sif in the air, big deal, but Flyish getting killed, and that's probably gonna kill this contest. And yeah, you see them back out. I mean, not a huge deal though. I mean, those ults were essentially free if you think about it, and considering how fast they built up theirs, and they forced out some quality also from Pixel Perfect. And yeah, good fight.
Yeah, I mean, really, okay, do have a quick pause coming in. Not entirely sure why. But either way, I mean, if you're Jamyoole there, you have just under 5 minutes, and you have a reasonable amount of ultimates coming up. So if they can take another engagement like that, you know, where they use an ultimate first, doesn't have to be Nano. I think they have I think they have the other DPS ultimate, EMP. There we go. That's the name of it. But they can engage with EMP and just kind of collapse in onto the Zarya. They can collapse in onto the backline. Doesn't really matter. Just collapse in onto someone, kill them, and then cycle through targets. And as long as you do that quickly, you can get over the 2CPing of the defender's advantage being so incredibly powerful.
I think a big key to this is going to be taking the Zarya out of the fight as quickly as possible, especially these fights go long, you know, and 2 or 3 bubble cycles pop off. That Zarya becomes a bigger and bigger problem as they build charge, and so and also Zarya is typically one of the more abusable targets in this kind of matchup, especially when you have D.Va who can just at close range do as much damage as a full charge Zarya. So yeah, I 100% agree. Like they just play fast, get the CMP off. You know, hopefully the person having connection issues or the pause need is not our Sombra player. That would be very unfortunate. That's a big ultimate that we definitely want to have on the table. Yeah, but like, I mean, honestly, again, Jamyoole just looks so much better. I can't stress this. I mean, they just, I don't know if they woke up. I don't know if they ate their Wheaties. I don't know if they like smoked a line of G Fuel. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, if they have coaches, I'm sure they gave them quite the grilling after the first 2 maps. It is a quick engagement coming in. Diego getting rather low. They had to back up and restabilize. They actually do have Nano Boost again, so they could just Nano Diego and then EMP and see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Diego's taking a lot of damage, but it's not going to matter too much. They have to be a little careful here. They've gone to a Zarya of their own, which I don't necessarily like. And we see King Mood take out the Zarya of Flyish, and I thought the D.Va was working. I'm kind of disappointed with this swap, if I'm honest. And, you know, no ults exchanged. Everyone just backs off. Oh, no, wait, Grav was used?
Yes, the Grav was used to keep Fleisch in the area. That's how King Mode got the kill.
Okay. Okay. Well, res out for the side of Jamyoole as they're going to look to re-engage and try again. Oh my gosh, Scam just sneaking away with the frag on you. And yeah, like, I don't know. You just got to be a little bit more decisive on these setups here. Sif now also sitting on their ultimate. And, I mean, there's still a significant advantage. They just got to be decisive on the side of Jamyoole. They got to just get in there and use the CMP.
Yep, see a little bit of scouting coming out for the Sombra. Is detected briefly. The EMP
stunned! No! But I mean, immediately traded back. Ults are being used to the side of Jamyoole. And actually, Diego's getting a ton of work done here. Flyish... Oh, all the ults are being committed. Tommy B also committed their ult. And they've taken a ton of space and done a ton of damage. They need to get this Brigitte off the field. Sif, though, in the meantime, taking out Lane, and there's no supports on the side of Jamyoole, and that is going to be a costly fight.
if there were ever a time that Jamyoole felt like they wanted to swap compositions, it would probably be now. Yeah, it looks like there's stuff coming out. I was gonna say there was too many ultimates to use all at once to not think, hey, well, let's swap to something, you know. So that's fine. This composition that they're running, this more stereotypical brawl, it can work. They're gonna have to take a few dry fights, but that's the nice part about them taking first points so fast is that they have time to work with. They can take a dry fight. They can get like the dragons or the primal rage out, and then work from there.
And crucially, they have a tick already, so it's going to be even shorter. That dragon actually catch Leanne. I didn't even think it was going to be good enough. And damage now just being pelted in, and there's not a lot of healing in that room. As I say that, Flyish finds Scam, which is a big deal, but May falls to the Ana of the side of Purrfect, and I mean, this is going to be a quick disengage. Pretty nicely done, actually. Going to minimize losses, keep Zarya's charge relatively high, and they're going to have Grav coming into this next fight.
Yeah, the big problem is they're not necessarily going to have anything to combo with Grav, so they might need to... Oh god, I don't even know. They need to build up more ultimates before they can like fully engage, but at the same time their support ultimates are coming up rather quickly, so maybe that's what they need. As long as they survived to get that far.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really good grab. I like this a lot. You're just going to be able to get a free pick here and push on.
Oh no.
Oh no, but Flyish looks like he's going to get burned down quickly if he doesn't get any more assistance, and he does not. Diego had ran away for whatever reason. Also, there was another Reinhardt put on the battlefield by Sif, and that's a quick cleanup. I would have to think a Diva's coming out here. Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Zarya is probably just staying there for the grab, but now you actually have some more ultimates coming up online for Jamyoole. They really only use the grab, so they're going to have both support ultimates once again. They're going to have Diego Shatter, and Tommy and Maze are probably going to build up their DPS ultimates like mid-fight, as well as Purrfect not having a ton
that's
to work
a big
with
ante.
here.
It's a big ante onto the back line. I don't think anyone's going to be able to follow up on it, though, but it is going to cause a little bit of distress. As you see, King Mode rotating over to kind of play on this little high ground. There's going to be a grab here for sure, and sure enough, Grab Dragon coming out, and it's going to find money, and no one's going to live. There are no survivors. Playing that little short high ground is such an effective strategy, because not only your Monkey can play it, fun fact, the Zarya can jump up there too if they want.
And now you really have like 10 seconds left. I don't know if anyone else can touch. I do have Diego going over to the ball, but I mean there's a ton to work with here for Purrfect to prevent even a single touch. Actually,
Lucio does get the touch off, so that's crucial. Leanne, though, going down early, not what you want to see. Skiff is already on to Sombra, which is not ideal if you're on the stall pick ball. Good pile driver, though. Bubble coming out, pretty good. This May ult's not finding much, and there's the hack. I can't imagine Diego's going to be long for this world. Diva, though, going to be able to stall a little bit longer. Living, but is dead, and that should be it for this defense.
Not too shabby if you're Jamyoole, but it does create a guaranteed lose condition if they can't defend successfully. You know, they only got a tick and a half on the second point, so better than getting fully held on the second point, but they are going to have to spruce up a bit for their defense. You know, if they can get a first hold, that'd be ideal. Second hold, still possible, but they really need to come out swinging on their defense.
Yeah, absolutely. I think something that's really important here is that I think the confidence of Jamyoole was down. They're kind of letting the 2CP vibes get to them, because I think the swap off of the Diva was so aggressive. When their dive comp had worked, they lost one fight with that Diva on second point. We're like, oh, yep, we're going double bubble. And I can't help but think, like, Diva's a really good matchup into the enemy's Zarya, especially on this map where there aren't, like, great positions for Zarya to play safe, and there's no Brigitte. So, I don't know. These are things that, you know, make me ask questions about, like, how Jamyoole is going to play moving into this defense.
Well, they are opting for the double bubble once again. Sombra Echo. Be interested to see how Maze decides to play this Sombra, because he could play it hyper aggressive, you know, where they're right up towards the spawn of the attackers, or if they could play it a little bit more passive, try and punish the enemy dive coming in. Otherwise, Purrfect's pretty much sticking on the exact same thing they had last time around, so no real shocker there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see, I mean, a borderline mirror. Like you said, the big difference being this Hanzo versus Sombra. And I think Sombra can get a ton of value here, to be honest, because Zarya is such a free target. Monkey doesn't have a lot of protection without a Diva to, like, catch them out. And Monkey doing a really good job of disengaging here. Diego just trying to poke, build nano charge. Not really finding much, and oh, Scam is pressuring the Ana really hard, and actually takes out Translocator. That could actually be big, as we still are kind of probing around this map and like looking for this Ana, playing in open sight lines, and there's the pick, like just lining it up. Liane needed to drop or find a corner or something, and now like they can't even get the res off. Although frags have come back, there's no backline for the side of Purrfect, so maybe this is still winnable. And you actually gets the res, so yeah, this is actually a pretty decent fight for the side of Jamyoole.
Yeah, I think they just have to get out. King mode probably will not get the health pack for one, as
and
Maze
is still critical and will die.
So that's honestly a really solid defense. That's what they need to do. Like if they can first hold here, Jamyoole, that's their best opportunity to win this, because it's going to get a little bit dicey if they get to second point defense. They still have 2.5 minutes give or take, so they still have the entire ult phase of the defense to get through. But that was a pretty good first push for
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's not anything crazy online yet, but I say that Tommy's probably going to have his ultimate fairly soon. Looking for a good spam angle here, finds it, going to get this ult off this set of stickies probably. And there's the nano engage coming in from Jamyoole. It's going to get a lot of value. And here we go, double monkey. There's nothing they can do to stop this really. And there's a primal rage. That Ana's caught out, but she hits asleep. But I mean, there's so much damage flying around it. Oh, here's another primal. Okay. And I think, was Nano applied? I think Nano was. Yeah, Nano was applied from Purrfect. Everyone, there's so many monkeys. What is going on? Diego is probably going to fall, I think. Sif has a really good primal, but actually gets burned down. Like I said, Diego eventually falls. Tommy B finally comes out of ultimate. May is going to fall as well. That's not good at all. I don't think they're going to be able to hold this. Flyish going down, and yeah, it's going to be a pretty decisive fight for the side of Purrfect.
That'll leave Purrfect with, if my math is correct, about like 4 minutes, give or take, to capture a tick and a half on second. Although that was a rather costly fight to take first, so they're really only going to have to grab dragons. However, Jamyoole doesn't really have too much to deal with that, so they're going to have to do something. Like they don't have any support cooldowns or ultimates that can really protect them from the grab dragons. So I
just want to see a decisive use of EMP so we can just avoid that problem entirely and then set up grab for the next fight. But we will see what they choose to do. They're kind of grouped up here. This could be a good opportunity. EMP only finds the king mode. That's not really what you're looking for here. And I don't know if this is going to be good enough. Tommy B dropping low. That sleep is probably going to be the death of... No! Actually, escaping barely. Oh, but immediately gets killed on the cleanup phase here. And all the kills are coming in for Purrfect. I can't imagine this is a stabilization point for Jamyoole as the nano comes on to king mode. And, I mean, they're just kind of farming up damage. But, as I say, that flyish kills bring him, so maybe this will be the opportunity to stabilize. King mode is now taking a lot of damage. I can't imagine he's going to live here much longer. He has Primal Rage, though, and he actually can isolate Liane, and Pop Primal doesn't kill him. Oh, eventually does, and no one's on point. Tommy just eviscerates the backline. All right, sorry, I was on this monkey for too long. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's a good old-fashioned 2CP if I ever saw one. You know, you just have a Tracer off in the backline, causing so much chaos that it allows the tanks to get back, and Jamyoole just was able to stabilize without giving up a tick, crucially, because if they do give up that tick, it's really only about, 20-ish% more until they lose the map. So the fact that they can hold here is a good start. They still have, again, 2.5 minutes to do so, and that's right about where the first point went wrong, but this time they have a distinctive advantage.
Here's the engage coming in. Sif copies for an EMP. Oh my goodness, no. Finds 4 with EMP. Flyish is gonna die. Flyish is dead. I don't even know what's going on. This is so insane. The nano boost comes out here. Tommy B frags back king mode. Maybe we can stabilize here if you're on the side of Jamyoole. But you just see Scam putting in so much damage. Tommy B trying to find something impossible, finds nothing. Sif and Scam just absolutely running away with it. Flyish trying to push on a point and make something happen. Drops again to Sif, and I think this is it. I can't imagine a comeback from this point. Dragon on the right side, and that is going to be all she wrote for Jamyoole. I'm sorry, going home. Purrfect will win on Temple of Anubis.
They did a really good job of bringing it back together at the very end. Get a little bit scrappy in that final fight, but Yeah, no surprises here that the 4K
No.
with the Graph Dragon was the end all be all for this map, as well
Yeah,
as getting the DMAC
absolutely.
onto the Diva. Yeah, that pretty much sealed the deal there for that offense, and something similar sealed the deal for the defense. So yeah,
Yeah.
Jamyoole going
Yeah.
home, but they did have a good performance on Havana, and they looked good at times on Temple of Anubis. I think if they could have started out at that Havana level of play, it probably would have gone at least a little bit closer. I don't know if it would have gone differently at the end of the day, but I think Jamyoole has at least some things to be proud of for the series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of the things that went wrong for them are like things that can get tuned over time. Like we said, this roster, Jamul specifically, played advanced last season and did very very well in the regular season for that tournament. And like they decided, all right, we're gonna up the ante, play in a harder division, and they walked away with a winning record, an appearance in the playoffs with I'm pretty sure a win, and yeah, like I can't say that's like a failure of a season. And I mean, they showed why they deserve to be in this division. They played very well, I think, overall. That last map was pretty close. They won Havana, especially after the pounding they took the first two maps. And like, I mean, that's just demoralizing. It shows a lot of mental fortitude to go into that Havana map, win it, and then make it close. I mean, the attack on Temple of Anubis up until the last point was really, really good.
Yeah, definitely. But of course, Pixel Perfect will be moving on through the losers bracket. They're going to have more chances still. Looks like they're going to be versing six Tants, if I'm reading that correctly.
I think it's like
Oh, yep.
existence. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what that means. Existence.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Funky
yeah, yeah.
names.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Either
You
way.
gotta love it. You gotta love it, right? So yeah, hopefully that will be a good match. I mean, and we're still waiting to see how the winners brackets play out. I mean, Team Rolled is a very good team in this division. They earned that number one seed. When I cast their match previously, the 1 versus 8, and it was incredible. So I'm very interested in the outcome of this bracket moving forward. So congratulations to Pixel Perfect. My condolences to Jamyoole. Really good season overall. Good luck next time. Do you have anything else, Acri?
No, I think that's pretty much all we've got for now.
All right, awesome. Well, uh, I'm Red Knight. That's Acri. You just watched GGNA, or sorry, GGEU. My
Eating
apologies.
NAs later tonight.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Watch GGNA tonight, by the way. If you're, somebody who can stand being using, EST as your preferential time zone. Anyway, have a good day, guys. Enjoy your time.